Hi, John. Hi, Jeff. Thanks for taking some time today and being with us on building your business. I want to
We're
talk about and introduce you guys because it's so exciting to talk about Inspector Prime. And I guess every good hero's story and every good every good thing you've ever seen on TV always starts with an origin. So let's start with your origins a little bit. I'm going to let you guys introduce yourself. I want to know what your background is and how you guys got hooked up.
absolutely. Yeah, I can kick us off here, John, if that sounds good. But it's great being here. Thanks for having us. We're really looking forward to kind of showcasing what we've put together with Inspector Prime. A little bit of background on ourselves. So John and I actually we met in the Marine Corps. We were both reservists in the Marine Corps, and essentially we were paired together for an exercise that happened over in Hawaii. And over the
Oh,
course of
poor
that,
you.
I know, right? Yeah, rough
Rough.
life going sitting in Oahu. But yeah, nonetheless. So we got to talk and really got to get to know each other, and basically just started throwing around ideas for how we could work together because we're both always interested in we just discovered through talking that we're both interested in kind of just pursuing interesting things and having fun. It's a lot more rewarding when you're having fun for a living than just kind of doing the 9 to 5 desk grind type thing. So we were just kind of tossing around different ideas of how we could make a little extra money, start a business together, and we settled on the inspection business. And that was 2.5 years ago at this point. So we kind of started off as inspectors. We got our inspection business launched, and really quickly we realized that we weren't super satisfied with a lot of the software solutions out there for the inspection business. And we kind of took it upon ourselves, like, hey, we've got the flexibility. Let's put something together that works for our business. And kind of after that first iteration, we came upon version 1 of Inspector Prime, and we really liked using it. So we're like, hey, I know we're a little biased because we built it, but nonetheless, we realized hey, I think we have something here. So let's dedicate some time. So we took about a year and a half now at this point to really put together Inspector Prime, the Inspector Prime suite of tools. Um, uh, like kind of one of the reasons for doing it is cost effectiveness, kind of is what it boils down to. Cost effectiveness and capability, obviously. And what we've put together is not only incredibly a capable system, but it's also very cost effective when you're looking long term for your business's needs. So yeah, we're super excited to share this with you. And I know I just talked a lot, but John, if you wanted to introduce yourself, over to you, man.
No, that's perfect. Yeah, let's kick this thing off. Yeah, that was a great choice.
Guess I gotta know. You're sitting in Hawaii, either you're on the island or you're on the you're on the over at Fort Island enjoying some fun time, or you're sitting at Duke's on a Sunday having
We
a
did
having
go to Duke's. Yep.
having a libation,
Right.
listening to Henry Capono, and and what would the conversation be like to have two Marines? You were officers, correct?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go, I know. Let's go into the inspection business. I mean, I want to know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was all about, you spent 20 some years in the Marine Corps and the government. You're like, you know what? I want to do this shit myself. I want to do something for myself. I want to own it. I want to control the process. You're told what, step in line and get in line. And uh, we wanted to create stuff. Right. And it just kind of spiraled from there. It said, hey, let's start with this. We ended up living a mile from each other. We didn't know that,
Yeah. Yep.
and so we're right down the road from each other. Both have, I've got 4 daughters, Jeff's got 2 daughters, and,
Yep.
the whole 9 yards. So it just kind of worked out. I was like, hey, what can we do to be flexible, get in the community, and start building something that's ours, right? And we've got many more things other than the home inspection business and Inspector Prime that we're kind of just working on and having fun with.
Yep.
But I had some database experience in the Marine Corps, building some databases for headquarters Marine Corps, and I said, hey, we can do this as well. And yeah, so that's kind of what it was. It was just we wanted our own thing, Yeah, we
And
wanted.
I've sat in enough bars with enough friends, and I don't believe our conversation has ever been, "Hey, let's go start an inspection business together."
Well, so one thing about the Marine Corps, yeah, they keep you busy, but there's also a lot of downtime, and you'd be shocked at where the conversations go on both ends of the spectrum. But yeah, how we ended up on home inspection business or inspection businesses in general, I think we had just gotten down kind of a road of conversations like, hey, yeah, I've thought about doing this in the past. Hey, I've thought about this too. Let's give it a try. Because yeah, we wanted something flexible that we would enjoy doing. I mean, that's what it all boils down to. So we
I
ran
guess
with
I
it.
have to say I one time sat in the bar in Norfolk with a senior chief, and I guess about 2 o'clock in the morning, we both thought about, starting a business together when he was getting out. So I guess it can happen.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
So, uh, was 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 working in the commercial world always you guys' plan, or did you guys find commercial to be accidental?
Yeah, that was accidental. I mean, we started off home inspection, right? Doing home inspections, Colorado Springs area, and then we built Inspector Prime, and obviously, Internachi has ties with CCPIA, and we
Mhm.
started looking at you guys, and it said, "Hey, there's nothing out there specific to commercial inspectors. It's all home residential inspection software that's you guys are having to put a different, flavor to, and it just doesn't work a lot of times." And so from the ground up, we built Inspector Prime Commercial, a commercial system, and said, "Hey, this is going to be specifically for commercial inspectors, whether you adhere to the CCPIA ComSop or the ASTN, or if you do Phase 1 ESA reports, our system can do it, and you're not having to leave it, so it does the whole thing. It's not a residential system with commercial slapped on as an afterthought. It's from the ground up for this community. So
What was your what was your biggest challenge you had early on when you were kind of gristing through this?
so we tore apart the CCPIA concept, right? And so that takes some time to do. And we tore apart the ASTM, and we obviously went out there and we looked at everybody's reports they've currently have, what the shortfalls were in terms of, they can't do cost to cure capital reserves. They got to make a spreadsheet, or they got to put it in Word, and they're duplicating time. So it was a matter of creating a system that was flexible enough to capture all the different ancillary services
Mhm.
this community can provide without having to leave our system, right? That's the whole point of having
Yep.
software that's going to
Mhm.
cost you that amount of money. Is like, hey, you better be able to do everything. So that was the hardest part, was just kind of piecing it together and structuring the database so that it was flexible enough to do all that. But where if the client didn't order that, they can just, hey, go ahead and hide it. They don't need to see it. Um, but if they do order it, it's a click of a button, and great. Now you've got an ancillary service you can provide, and charge your hourly rate for, and it's right there. It doesn't cost you any more time, really. So
Yeah.
that was the toughest part, was just breaking down all the regulations, all the structure, the base structure, and keeping it flexible, because from one inspector to another, they're not the same, right?
Did
Um,
you guys ever use the term Semper Gumby?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's another challenge that we ran into. I mean, we spent a lot of time exploring a wide range of tools that we could leverage for building this. I mean, eventually we settled on the platform called Airtable, which we can get into if you'd like to, but we also
Yeah, we'll
don't
do
necessarily.
that in a half a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, so it was challenging to kind of sift through the world of software solutions, but I think what we found in the end after exploring a lot and testing a lot of different things is what we think is the most flexible platform out there for commercial inspectors. So
That was always when I was in the field. I mean, I'm old, retired, and fat. When I was in the field doing this on a daily basis, it was as you said, John. I'm in and out. I'm going between this sheet and that sheet, and I use I use this format. Now I'm gonna take and do my data entry on here, and then I got to go back and I'm gonna, because commercial buildings are not residential.
no,
And and you have to understand that they have a different purpose. They're a revenue asset for a company. and there's not one water heater, and there's not one HVAC unit, and there's not one electric panel. There's dozens of each.
Yep.
And you can't really, when I talk to inspectors, and I think you can echo this, you know, they'll write a report, and they can do a room by room report on residential.
Yeah.
Here's the living room, here's the dining room, here's the kitchen, here's the bedroom, here's the bedroom, here's the bedroom, here's the bedroom, you know, type
Yep.
of thing. And there's only one of and unique, because there's one HVAC that's controlling all of them, or there's 2 or 3 max, until you get to the big house. But when you're dealing with a commercial property, I might have 35,000 square foot of uninterrupted one room.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so I appreciate that was your challenge.
Yeah.
That you saw that, and instead of coming at it from, you know, the super highway going eastbound, you said, no, let's meet it going westbound, and we're going to design something from the get-go. And I like that.
Yeah.
Did you have any issues with inefficiencies and things that you were trying to solve in your design of InspectorPrime,
Mm.
where you saw this? Well, let me say it a different way. You saw this need, and you said, if InspectorPrime does this, I'm going to solve this. And I
Oh,
think,
sure.
John, you might have hit that with
Yeah.
your tables, but
Yeah.
how about your data entry?
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, no, I get your point, get your question. It was all about that workflow. Obviously, again,
Yes.
you're in the field, or whether you're back at the desktop afterwards, you know, if you just take photos on site, um, we had to plan for, you know, number of clicks, how
Yeah.
an inspector or his team put the data in there, and obviously that workflow was top of mind. But yeah, I think we solved all of that. Quite frankly, you know, whatever you think of, you know, entering a defect or a narrative or a finding, whatever you want to call that, basically, we've simplified the workflow, because now if you want to do cost to cure or capital reserves for any of those, it's just a separate profile in that same finding or defect. You don't have to go anywhere else for it. You just say, oh yeah, I don't want to do cost to cure for this. Check a box, put in your numbers that you estimate it is for the cost, and you're done. And your sheets and your dashboards are automatically built for you. It's all very streamlined. And as you mentioned equipment, you got 50 electrical panels in one commercial building or property. Hey, guess what? You don't need to go outside of our system. You have an equipment schedule. It looks like you're building a form, and it builds the client's sheet and dashboard for them. And you can easily provide them with a link to say, hey, give this to your property manager, or give this to your contractors that need to get in here. Here's your 50 electrical panels and what you need to do for them, right? So very streamlined. And not only that, because you can inventory all the equipment, but you can tie defects to the equipment as well to make that connection. So you're not repeating yourself. You're not saying, oh, well, now I got to add the defect over here. Now I got to add the defect to the equipment over here. No, it's all connected, so you don't have to do that twice. So that's one of the main efficiencies we've made. Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yep.
I think we should probably take a look at it, and then we'll have some conversation. So if there's an opportunity that you can kind of show our audience, I know for those that are just listening, yeah, you know, I would recommend that you watch this at some point. But maybe, Jeff, you can show us a little bit about what InspectorPrime looks like.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and
Absolutely.
I'll go ahead and share the screen.
Oh, okay, John, thank you.
Yeah. But this is what the client would see. We could talk about what the inspector would see, but it's pretty much the same thing. You just have a workflow.
Yeah. Do we want to kind of run through
Yeah.
our client portal concept,
Yeah.
John,
Let's
real
do
quick?
that. Let's
'Cause
do that.
I think that's why that's one thing that I love about the system is, yes, you can generate PDFs, obviously, but something that John and I think probably what sparked our conversation back in Hawaii was we were talking about because we had both recently purchased a house. Hey, I just got this 100-page inspection report. That was,
Boy.
I didn't read through any of that stuff. So, and that was kind of the genesis for this, but why I mentioned that. So we've come up with something called the client portal, which we've been
And
getting
the
a lot of
client
good
portal
reception.
is what So you're basically sending them an HTML link, so to speak.
Yeah. Yep. We are sharing a link with a client that gives them access to an incredibly interactive platform where they can go in and check out their inspection. But
Okay.
sorry to hijack that, John. Go ahead.
Oh no, that's exactly what it
Back
is.
over to you, Matt.
Well, the key thing to know is when somebody purchases Inspector Prime, it's theirs for life, right? It's a company lifetime license, and no Inspector Prime system stays the same, because once we deliver it, we're hands off. We can't see your data. We don't access your system. It is quite literally yours in your own Airtable account. And that's what makes it powerful. But what it also does is, for every inspection, for every client, you can actually customize everything in here. If you see our name up here, this is going to be white labeled to your company, or the inspector's company. But you don't have to have all this, right? You can actually build additional features onto your system that matches your company's services. But we provide essentially a baseline for you, and that includes making a proposal for your client. So you get that.
Nice.
Get that intake form from our office system, and you can go in here, make an inspection form, and you can send this to them instead of a PDF. You can say, hey, yeah, go ahead. I already made you a client portal. Check us out. Here's your proposal inside of it. And they can do everything they need to do in terms of the signing the agreement and making their first payment if they like to do that. But they also get to learn about your team, your process. You can put a bunch of different things inside of this, so you can kind of introduce yourself right away as a professional outfit that's not just fly by the seat of the pants. Here's an email quote. No, you're giving them a client portal right away. And then when you start delivering the report, they get everything in terms of the walkthrough survey report or the PCR, whatever you want to call it, as well as any ancillary services they order. So this is a ASTM kind of formatted template that we provide, but it also meets, again, the CCPIA ComSop in terms of the systems and everything they can report on. The most important part of this is, again, you're entering your information in, you're making your template, and it automatically grabs your cost to cure, your capital reserves, your equipment schedules, and again, it's interactive. This is not just a go ahead and scroll through and take a look at your report, open some pictures. This is interactive in terms of they can actually filter through and say, oh, for my equipment, where's my electrical at? And they can see just their electrical panels. They can group, search. They can do a lot of things, and you can customize that to show them what you want to show them.
So are you showing right now the client side, or are you showing I'm the inspector, this is what I'm giving the client side?
I'm showing the client side, what the client would see when they log in and get their report.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. So once I send it to them, will it all be frozen where they can't go in there and change anything?
Yeah, they can never edit anything, but what they can
Awesome.
do, what they can do, for example, in the findings table, they can say, all right, well, what are my finding types? Let me just look at my defects. And okay, they can just see their defects. They can even go, well, what system is it in? Where's my
Oh, that's great.
They can, so they can filter it, right? Very, very cleanly. And so it's digestible. You're not going to get a 100-page website or report. It is very, very digestible. And if they want to learn more, they simply click into each and they can scroll down. You can have a lot of different information for the profiles and go from there. They can even comment on the photos and things that you put in there. So we've got a few comments in here. Open that up, but they can comment with you if you want to enable that feature, right?
So that will send me a notification as the inspector that they made a comment?
Yes,
Absolutely.
exactly.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Because we know in a commercial let's just say it's a transactional. I'm not doing a maintenance inspection. I'm doing a transaction inspection, a retail type inspection.
Yeah.
That I've got two readers. I've got the CEO reader and I've got the working person reader. The CEO is making decisions and they'll hand the report to the worker and say, here, go fix.
Yeah, exactly. And to your point, let me show you. So this is the report, and they can print this out in PDF. It's like 25 pages, but we give even more than that. So if you go to just findings here, now you've got what we call a Kanban view, right? A card type view, where if you just send this to your worker types, right? And they're
Yeah.
like, all right, cool. I know exactly what I need to do for my electrical. It's all right here in this column for cooling, for exterior, for roof. And they can say, hey, what was the recommendation? What do I need to repair? There we go. There's my repairs. What do I need to upgrade? If there's any upgrades? Yep. What do I need to maintain? you know, and so they can, again, it's interactive, it's filterable. They can do a lot, and this is how we've created this system where we focus not on the PDF. Yes, you can give that whenever you want, but you can actually give them a system they want to come back to and say, okay, great. Now, inspector, can you provide that yearly maintenance inspection for me? Sure, no problem. Just open this same inspection, and you can do it right here for them, right?
Yeah.
And and if they've got a 50-unit apartment complex, guess what? You don't have to worry about creating 50 different kind of profiles or marking them. As you go, you simply mark them as unit 1, unit 2, unit 3. So you're not saying new narrative for unit 1. Okay, I got the same narrative, but now I need to duplicate it for narrative 2. No, you just go into the narrative and you say it applies to unit 1, unit 2, and so on. And that's how you save time as well. You do not have to make 100 different templates based on the type of property it is. Our system adapts by using these special tags we've got to do that
Mhm.
for you. So,
So John, if I had the unit, let's take the scenario of a 50-unit apartment building,
yeah,
and I'm in and units, all the odd units of 50. So that's 25 of them
yep,
all have loose toilets.
yeah, yeah,
Does your summary go back and say 25 loose toilets, or does it just say loose toilets in 1, 3, 5, 7, 9? I'm not going to
yeah,
embarrass myself by counting.
yeah. No, that's
I'm
okay.
a public school kid.
Actually, all they would do is they would see one narrative, right? And when they open that narrative, they would see and hear that it applies to those
Ah,
those
yeah.
specific units. And then not only that, they're like, okay, well, shoot, then show me just room 212. Well, all the inspector or the client has to do is go to their unit filter and say, oh, well, what applies to room 212? There you go. And it would show a lot more, obviously, if there was a lot more, but that's all they have to do. That is all they
I
have.
can tell that some of this genesis came from your backgrounds
Yeah.
of the systematic approach of making this as clear as possible, because I'm dealing with multiple different types of reading audiences.
Yep. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah. There's no way anybody wants to read through a full report all at once, right? You don't have to see
Mhm,
or show them all the photos all at once. We don't do that in our walkthrough survey report. They don't need
mhm.
to see that. They just need to see, all right, what did I just pay this guy $3 or $4 or $5,000 to do? Good. Here's my findings. Here's my overall evaluation in like 15, 20 pages max, right? And here's the numbers. More importantly, great.
Mhm.
I got about 21,000 in immediate repairs, and I've got about over a 20-year period, 100K in capital reserves estimates. Great. That's what I paid this guy for. I've got the information. Let me send this link to my worker bees and my contractors and get it fixed, or give me some more up to date local estimates for what they are going to charge me. That kind of thing. That's all they need. They don't need these. You can see we don't have photos here, but they can obviously click in and get all the photos.
Yeah.
They don't need all that. Like, because an inspector takes 30, 40 photos, that's printing in the full report usually. Not with our system. You can just print off the findings individually as a profile for them. You can make packets for individual electrical contractors and HVAC technicians, etc. You don't have to do it all at once. You don't have to handle
The boardroom doesn't want that.
exact.
The boardroom
Nope.
wants that other
Yeah.
sheet that had the numbers on it.
They
Yep.
want the hard numbers. Yep.
Good
So they
point.
can make an
They're worried
informed
about
decision.
EBITDA, and they're not worried about really anything else.
Right.
Yep.
Give them something like this. You could actually screen this or screen share this to the boardroom, projector, and say, all right, here's what we've done for you. You're looking at this
Yeah.
cost secure. You're looking at this for capital reserves. And by the way, you've got equipment schedules. This is the gallery. Let's go to our grid. All right, here's your electrical equipment. We got one just in fair condition, three fair. You can do the whole thing right there and actually want to present it and not have to do any other work, right? You don't have to make a PowerPoint. You don't have to do anything else. Just put your portal up there for them, and they've got everything they need, right? And if they want to drill down and say, hey, show me the electrical panel. Okay. Or that heat pump. Show me that heat pump. There you go. Here's what we got for it. You know, and that you can present that very cleanly with no extra preparation or time on your end. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's really attractive. So, let's take a look a little bit at some, if you can, of some of the efforts it takes to put this in. Now that we see what the output looks like, let's look a little bit about the input. Can we do that?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Jeff, you want to kind of explain while I get the inspector portal up? You want to explain how we do field notes and different kinds of entries?
Absolutely.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so there's multiple ways that you can get your data into the report. If you're working on a large team, so we have a few clients that are doing this, you can leverage field notes system that we built. So basically what field notes is it's a form that your guys or gals on scene can fill out real time and submit those forms that then populate in the inspector portal. So like if you're a supervisor back at the office and you have a team out conducting an inspection, they're doing all their findings through the field notes, which is free, by the way. I want to emphasize that. So like if you don't want to spend extra money on a extra Airtable business account, you can utilize these field notes so that your team can just go out, they do their findings, it populates in the field notes section here that's up on the screen right now. And then you as the boss or the manager, or even when the team comes back, they can log back in. But then you take these field notes and you apply them within your narratives and your findings. And it's super easy to actually apply these narratives to the report. So when we deliver the InspectorPrime commercial database to you, it comes with 300 something pre-built narratives, essentially. And those all exist all the time within the inspector portal. However, they do not appear in the client portal until you tie the property to them. And that's a one-click move that you have to do. When you have a finding, you search through your narrative library, find it, hit the drop down right here on screen, tie it to the property, and now it is part of the report that applies to the client portal. So it's really seamless to not only you're building out your narrative library, but then also to create new narratives. It's form-based. So you just click on that button in the top right of the screen to create a new narrative, and you follow the fields in here. And again, getting back to kind of the customization abilities of this platform, whatever you want to capture in that form, you can tailor it to whatever you're trying to represent in your findings. So yeah, it's really intuitive once you get the workflow down. Yes, it's a little different than what's out there currently, but it's incredibly robust, and you're not having to search through a whole list of narratives and tailor each narrative. Like, no, you hop into the narratives library, you snap a photo, real time, it populates right in there for that specific property, tie it to the property, and it's in the report.
So what you're saying, Jeff, is I don't necessarily. So if I had 5 inspectors working for me, I buy my InspectorPrime license. Do I have to buy 5 licenses or 1?
You buy 1 per business. Yep.
So I buy my InspectorPrime license, and if I want each inspector to be able to produce individual reports simultaneously, I'd have 5 Airtable accounts. But what if I wanted to have them all come back to a central location? Let's say,
Yes.
and that would be good for quality assurance too, and QAing everything. Then they would just be in the field doing your field note pages, and then it comes back to the office, and either they're all logging into the one Airtable account, or I myself or somebody I've trained is writing reports.
Yep. Spot on.
And
Brilliant.
and you can see again, we mentioned cost effectiveness at the beginning. It's 1 InspectorPrime license for the lifetime of your company. It becomes your company's software for life. And then you do not have to have more than one Airtable account. You, again, use the field note system, and like you
Yeah.
said, do the QA, quality control on the back end, and write your report as in there in the field. Because it's a real time sync. You're going to see every letter they enter into the system.
Well, yeah, I mean, QA, QC is so critical. I mean, I'm going back to the 80s in my career when I did a field note system in the field, and all we did was hand field notes every afternoon
Yeah.
into the office, and the office wrote every report.
Oh man, yeah.
I mean, there was no such thing as photos. Yeah, we got a Polaroid. But there's no digital cameras. Everything was either Kodak film or Polaroid. If you wanted to have a photo of something, and so this is almost taking the best of all worlds. If I'm, and correct me, please, if I'm a manager of an inspection company, I'm going to use the word manager, owner, whatever, right?
Yep.
And most of us, our personalities are such that nobody's as good as us. We are the best. And the reason why I won't hire is nobody does an inspection as well as I do, right? I mean, this is just our mindset. But this now assuages some of my fears, correct? That I can have somebody out there field noting, photographing, checking narratives in the field that they believe are 90x% accurate.
Yeah.
And then I'm finalizing every inspection.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're serving as the approval authority essentially. So when it gets flagged for review,
I'm sitting at Duke's with a Mai Tai.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
The other benefit, and I pulled this field notes form up, is because, this is what they see. This is all they have to deal with. There is no logging in. There is no, hey, let's learn the system. You don't have to train anybody to fill a form out like this. You send them a link, and they just put the information in. They hit submit, and you see it come into your inspection on the back end as the owner operator, right? This is all there is no training. We've got guys out there already using this in this manner where their employees do not have to log in, learn a new UI or UX or system. They just open the form, hit submit. And when the form is submitted, it says, hey, you want to do it again? Yep, create a new form. And they keep going like that. So it reduces any training that you have to give to your guys or your third-party contractors.
Yeah.
And it just, again, there's no logging in. They can't screw this up. It's just a link, right? And they open the form and they do it again and again. So
and this can be done in every section, every line, there are no grayed out areas that's going to leave me high and dry.
Right. So you can use the field notes, or you can go to the narratives and send them the narratives form. They can do the narratives from there, or they can do the equipment schedules, right? They can say, all right, what's the equipment? Hey, log all equipment in the equipment form. Boom, there you go. And they can add.
And in the equipment form, I can add defects.
So they'll fill this out, and then what you want to do is you want to take the defects they find in their field notes, and you want to link them.
Okay.
That makes sense.
So really, to create a really substantial codified report, I'm linking 3 different documents together.
So
I'm linking my field notes with my narratives, with my equipment schedule.
Yes. Yep. Only when a defect applies to that equipment. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Or even if I just want to make a comment that it was painted blue, it might not be a defect.
Right.
I got to put that in my field notes.
You could just put that in the comments section here in the equipment profile. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you got a number of ways to skin that cat. If you don't want to have to link those to narratives, you don't have to. You can just put them right here. Like, hey, yeah, painted blue. Doesn't work. I can't do any more typing than that and talking, but
yeah,
you get
I get that. Plus, you don't want to embarrass yourself with misspelling.
Exactly. But Yeah, you've got a number of different ways of doing that. If you want to add narratives and connect it that way, you can. But our system allows you to focus on, hey, let's get the inventory done for the equipment. And then I can say, great, what are the defects for the particular equipment as you go? And then again, the narratives when you want to add those. So yep, that's it.
How fluid is it
Oh,
in the field of, or how much jumbling does it take me if I'm looking at a piece of equipment to fill in the the equipment and then fill in a narrative? Is it pretty seamless?
oh, yeah, pretty much just looks like this, little smaller on the big screen or the
Yep.
little screen on your phone. But you just do this: you hit add narrative, and you either grab one from your current library, right, or you make a new one, right, and
Mhm.
that is literally it. It's like filling out a form. Doing it in a simple search, filling out a form,
Awesome.
hit and submit. Yeah, yep.
Awesome.
And
Uh,
I'd be remiss too, just before we move on
yeah.
with narratives specifically. So we've showed some examples of photos that you can drop in, but because Airtable is a database, since we built this on a database, there's no more need to, like, if you're doing sewer scopes or any other video based findings, there's no longer a need to go to YouTube, upload a video, create a YouTube link, drop it in your report. Airtable can handle the direct upload of
Uh-huh.
video files. So you can just drop it right in here. And once it's in there, it's not going anywhere. Like, you don't, once your report's done, it is a database. It's a repository for data. So that's where it lives. It's not like, oh, in a year I'm not going to be able to access this anymore. It's like, nope, the raw file lives in the report.
Is there a max size?
Yep. So every narrative, every attachment field here can have 50 files or 5 gigabytes. Every inspection can have 100 gigabytes total of media. So
Okay, 100 gig. How much would that?
a ton, a ton. I
It's
don't
a
know
lot. Yeah.
anybody that would up. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm just standing back because now you think of Meta, right, and the Meta glasses that are out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think we're going to start seeing more and more inspectors. I mean, there's inspectors that wear body cameras, for crying out loud.
Yep.
But I think we're going to get more and more inspectors starting to use, the Meta glasses to either capture photos so that it make things faster.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you might get an inspection report that might have 100 individual videos plus a sewer scope.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't think, yeah, you're probably right. It's probably not even going to be close.
Yep. Yeah. And that's thousands of photos and probably a hundred or so videos you're talking
Yeah.
about, so yeah.
Yeah, because I think Meta will allow you to capture 3 minutes of video.
That's correct. Yep.
Oh, okay.
I have a pair
Yep.
myself. They're pretty fun to use. Those are on the kids.
Yeah, as as I had a Navy chief working for me, and his goal is to have a series of big screens sitting in his command center like a TOC,
Yeah.
and he wanted to have inspectors in the field all wearing ocular devices, and him coaching what they're looking at.
Nice. Yeah.
And I'm like, we might get there, but
We might. Yep.
I sure as heck hope not in my career.
Yeah. That sounds a little more complicated than it needs to be, but you can do it.
It's an inspection, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
We're not curing cancer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he again, this would have been a product that would have been very good for him, especially in the QA/QC mode, because
Yeah.
he was very micromanaging on the outputs.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he would have a primary inspector and at least one subordinate inspector on every inspection. And this allowed that conveyance of knowledge to always stream back to him.
Yeah.
Because it was his name on the door.
Yep.
Sure.
Yep.
And that's one of the things that I like. Are there any particular report types or property types or scenarios that this software or solution, I'm not even going to say software, this solution absolutely shines at?
I would say if an inspector, we can easily handle the one-off. Oh, it's just a retail store. Great, that's pretty simple. But if you're looking for something that handles multiple units without extra work, without having to say, "Crap, how do I present this to a client? Am I just going to list that units 1 through 100 applies to this thing?" Or no, use our system. I mean, this has all the different filters and tags you need to build a multi-unit, multi-property report,
Yep.
without extra work on your end. I mean, you're in the field, you just mark it unit 3. And if it applies to unit 5, you go back to that same narrative and tag it real quick as unit 5. You don't have to do anything else but that. And again, if you're looking for something you can actually present to a client or a boardroom, this is it. I mean, you should be proud to be able to present something that says, "All right, here's my equipment dashboard, boss. This is your inventory. This is your overall status. All right, great. Let's move on to cost to cure. You're looking at approximately 21, so on and so forth, right? In terms of you can absolutely screen share this without having to go outside and create a PowerPoint or something,
Yep.
it does it for you based on the information you put in. So all you have to do is get the information right, and the system takes care of the presentation for you. And again, it's once an inspector has it, it's theirs. So you can customize everything you see in it. I mean, the color, the layout, the different types of graphs, you can customize it to fit your company's SOP. It doesn't have to stay the same. Jeff and I didn't have to build this to keep our users in a box, right? Because this is not a proprietary system we keep hold of. We can't even see our clients' system information after they buy it. It is theirs. It is theirs for life. And that's the model we wanted to start with and end with in terms of how we present InspectorPrime to the community. So, yeah.
One of the juicy things you showed, John, was your cost to remedy, your cost to cure dashboard here.
Yeah.
The numbers that you're inputting.
Yep.
Because this is going to be a question that's going to come up. I'm already seeing the YouTube comments that are going to come in. Are your numbers from a particular source, or are these numbers that I'm just inputting into a table?
It was really important for us that, yes, we wanted to leverage the capabilities of AI. AI is not going away. It's super useful when you employ it correctly. But what we wanted to make sure was that the AI that we're leveraging in here isn't taking over the role of the inspector, because that's not correct. You still need the human element in the loop when you're doing these reports. So the native AI capability within Airtable is incredibly robust. You can pick from a whole different suite of different models that it can pull info in. Like, for instance, when yes, you have to input the numbers yourself as the inspector. But what we trained the AI to do was pull from the local market here in Colorado Springs to give us a starting point that we can work from to actually come up with the numbers that we want to submit for the actual report. So, yeah.
This looks great. I think what kind of feedback have you been getting from those that have purchased your software?
We've been getting great feedback. I mean, so just a quick story about one of our clients. I won't use his name because obviously I didn't clear it before, but he had an idea he wants to corner the Spanish speaking market in the area that he's operating out of. So he was like, okay, yeah, I've got my guy going through and translating stuff to Spanish. Like, whoa, time out. Like, leverage the AI. So we hopped on a call with him. We showed him how quick you can, obviously you go back through and proofread it because AI is never perfect, but really quickly he was able to generate an instance of the platform for his Spanish speaking customers, all using the AI and using the translation functions and all that. And we have, like John said before, no instance of InspectorPrime is the same once we deliver it. So our clients are literally able to go in and rework all of these interfaces to suit their business's needs specifically. And that's the number one bit of feedback that we've gotten, is the flexibility and customizability.
Sorry, Jeff. Is there something, John, you'd like to that you haven't shown that you want to show a little sizzle to, or have you shown us?
Yeah,
what you need?
I would add probably 2 more things.
Excellent.
If the inspector is able to write their own phase 1 ESA reports, we've got that built in. So they can absolutely customize their ESA reports as well. And it's got all the, tables built in that it's connected to. And again, it shows it right there for the client. It's text heavy because that's what phase one ESA reports are. But what you're seeing here is a system that allows you to do that. And you can customize it to your particular SOP. And the other thing is again, we tore apart that CCPIA ComStop. And, within the same system, inspectors can do accessibility reports, observe green features, fire door inspections, fireplace and
Excellent.
chimney, right? So they can do all that. They can also send questionnaires out to their clients. And, whenever somebody responds, which I know is pretty rare, they can actually just get the responses in their system and they don't have to touch it, right? They just review it. The client gets it in a client portal automatically and that's it, right? So now inspectors can really take the system and add ancillary reports and inspections in and not have to go outside, right? So here's an accessibility report, right? This is based on the ComSop. We added some sections just to enhance the media that's involved, but this is what you get. So you don't have to go out and do another form or another Word document or anything, or try to build it in. And this goes to the expandability. Again, this system becomes the company's. If they come to us afterwards and say, hey, I want to add this, and we're going to train them up and show them how to add features to it to meet their company's needs. So it doesn't stay static. We didn't have to put our users in a box where, hey, it can only do this, so only follow these clicks. No, you can actually expand the system to meet your company's needs, right? So this is one way of doing it.
How, looking at this made me think, how difficult is it for me as an InspectorPrime owner to develop my own form or my own, I guess, are they called templates?
Yeah, templates, features, yeah, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, yeah.
So let's say I wanted to invent one for sewer scoping.
Sure. Yeah, a very specific sewer scope report. Yeah. Okay.
And,
Yeah.
and I could design or swimming pool inspections or
Yep.
or if I wanted, if I had a specific other ancillary service I might do. Does InspectorPrime give me that opportunity to design my own unique
Yeah.
template
sure
or form
does.
set?
Yeah.
Yep, it sure does. It has its own form building feature right within Airtable. And again, I know we haven't talked too much about Airtable, but why we chose Airtable was just all of the background abilities that you're able to do. So like when you're buying our template, our database, essentially, you're getting that obviously, but by using it on Airtable, you're getting their background support. And Airtable is a multi-billion-dollar a year company. Like they support Fortune 500 companies. So you don't have to necessarily worry about Airtable being down like some of these other proprietary softwares that they're the ones that own the code. Airtable is incredibly stable. It's incredibly customizable. And yeah, even if let's say you don't want to reach out to John or I for whatever reason to do a feature, you have the Airtable help desk available to you. You have the Airtable experts that build and develop the platform that you can reach out to as well if you don't want to reach out to John or I. So lots of flexibility with the system.
Yeah, and we offer.
I guess I think about. I mean, I've had so many different softwares through my career, even some that I've had written myself. I didn't write them, but we've hired software engineers and writers to write our own code. That since they're all third party, if Microsoft updated, then that would knock us out of the box. Or if iOS updated, that would knock us out of the box. I guess what you're saying, since you're working on those robustness of the backing of Airtable, you'll probably never be knocked out of the box on any
Yep.
type of updating or I've moved. I'm on iOS, and so I've moved from Tahoe to Sequoia or something bizarre. Because this is what they were asked me to do, or I won't have any incompatibility issues then. If I'm a Surface person, or if I'm a if I'm an iPad person, there's no compatibility issues.
Nope. Yeah, I mean, we use iPads when we're doing our inspections, and yeah, it looks incredibly similar to this. And yeah, just very little, if any, downtime has ever been experienced on this platform in the year plus that we've been using it. So very stable. Again, that was what ultimately sold us on going with that, because again, we're inspectors that wanted to build a solution. We're not developers that wanted to build an inspection solution. So yeah, stability was a big selling point for us when we were choosing a platform.
And
thanks, John. You can go ahead and stop sharing your screen if you'd like.
Alrighty, yeah.
Unless there's something else you wanted to show.
No, I think that's pretty good for now. I could talk for hours on this, obviously.
So well, I gotta ask, what has been in the last year and a half or 2 years that you've been out screaming about Inspector Prime to the public? What has been your favorite? Oh wow, this has made my life easier moment.
I'd be happy to go first, John.
Yeah.
So with me specifically, I know our pricing structure is a little bit different. It's a little unconventional, but when you take the time to crunch the numbers and what it does for your business in terms of cost savings, especially for commercial, you're talking tens of thousands of dollars over a couple of years by leveraging this. Yeah, it's a one-time cost to us, and then you maintain your Airtable account. But that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to save people money. Like there's so many other software tools out there that really nickel and dime you at every opportunity that they can. But we were very passionate about making sure we weren't doing that. So that for me that's a big win on my part. Like, yeah, we're saving people money, and that makes me feel good. Cause I mean, as inspection business owners ourselves, like, yeah, you want to keep costs as low as possible, but still get good products out of it. So that's mine personally.
If not good, superior.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And we do
Because
think we have
at the end of the day, that's what we're selling.
Mhm.
We like to think we're selling behind our eyes and between our ears.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we're selling a piece of paper that has findings on it.
Yep.
I would just add to that the key thing is that you own this system for life. I mean, this is your company's system. It is not controlled by Jeff and I once we deliver it. So for one-time price, you get to have a system you don't rent anymore, right? Essentially, and you get to control completely from your end. And that's huge. And we offer weekly training, so if people want to use advanced features or add-on reports, like you were saying, they can get an hour of training with us, and they're going to be off to the races. And it's pretty much that simple to add additional features once they understand the structure of our system, how it works. Yep.
Outstanding. So where do you envision your software evolving to over the next couple of years?
I know we need to do phase 2 ESA functions on there. We're working with a commercial inspector right now that does phase 1 ESAs, and he's going to get with us on the phase 2, so we can work together on getting something that meets the needs of that community. But other than that, we count on feature requests, and the other great thing is we actually can put something out within 1 to 2 weeks, depending on what the feature is they're looking for. We are quick. We again do not have proprietary code we have to deal with and keep people in a box. We can say, hey, great, you want this? Let's do it. It doesn't affect all my other clients and users, because it's for your system. If we adopt that for the future Inspector Prime version, then we can do that and deliver it. But we will not interrupt people by making changes willy-nilly here and there. We actually get to iterate a lot faster than any other inspection software company out there, right? So, yeah.
That is great. I don't have any other questions. Is there anything that we've missed that we need to talk about during this session?
I think that covers all the top elements for me, but yeah.
I think so. Yeah. And if people are interested in learning more, if there was something that we didn't answer, please reach out directly to us. We love setting up time to talk with folks that are interested and kind of show them the capabilities and how it could fit into their business needs.
And again, for CCPA members, know that you can go to our website, do the click throughs on member benefits. Inspector Prime is is an affiliate with us. There's an opportunity for you to get a little bit of a discount and communication. Plus, John and Jeff's contacts are located right there on our website. Thanks, guys, for taking the time and being with us. This is exactly what building your business with the CCPA is all about. It's giving information to our members and letting them have those tools, those resources, that knowledge base to make intelligent decisions and grow their business. And I think you guys are doing it. You guys are kicking it.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, we really appreciate you giving us the time to do this. This has been a lot of fun. I appreciate it.
I'm looking forward to seeing how this is progressing. And good news, we're only going to be changing the ComStop soon anyway. And so this will give you this.
Great.
Hey, no problem.
It's that planned obsolescence that John and I were talking about earlier. This is that opportunity to have you play a little bit in your forms and keep it fresh.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Keep on our toes. Awesome.
You guys, thank you again, and thank you for taking your time today to be with us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You.